Hey guys, welcome back. So yes, I am wearing the exact same shirt I wore in my previous video. No, it is not the same day. I just wore it 2 days in a row because it's disgusting outside and I'm painting today, and I figured I'm going to get it messed up anyway, so why put on a new shirt? But today I finished painting one of my alien masks. Now, I did this one a little differently than the previous one I did a few months ago, which I don't know if any of you saw the video or not. But the last one I painted with acrylic paints mixed with liquid latex and then watered down to do the finish, and it seemed to work fine. This one I did a similar method, but instead of mixing it with liquid latex, I mixed the paint with Pros-Aide, which is like a glue that they use to glue down facial, like appliance makeups. Like if I was getting like a foam latex makeup done, they would possibly use Pros-Aide or Telesis. There's a bunch of different adhesives, but Pros-Aide, that's what they usually use it for. But I was told twice by two different people in 1 week that they use Pros-Aide as an adhesive to make the paint stick to the latex, because if you don't use it, it won't stick well. And so far it seems to work fine. Like if I rub my nail on it, it doesn't come off at all. And time will tell. Maybe it'll dry out more over a few months, but it seems fine right now. I don't know if it's going to hold up long term or not, but we will see. But anyway, this is what the mask looks like right now. I painted it all with this little airbrush here. This is a super cheap airbrush I just got off the internet. I think I got 3 airbrushes for like $60 with the compressor or something crazy. I can't remember the deal, but it was a whole bunch of different airbrushes, and I've used this one for like 4 years and it works completely fine. So I used this airbrush. I used just like craft paints like this. Again, mixed with water, or watered down a lot so that I can shoot them through the airbrush, and then I add a little Pros-Aide to the mix to hopefully help it stick to the latex underneath. But anyway, this is the deal. The back isn't very detailed yet. I may actually do some patterning on the back, but I'm not sure yet. Basically, I want a mask to display if I do my Monsterpalooza booth, which I don't know if I'm going to do. I like the idea of doing it, so maybe I will. And it'll probably just be facing out, so I don't even know if I need to do the back. But anyway, here's the look. I took time-lapse video of the entire process, so I will start that now. Okay, so I'm starting out here by applying essentially a base coat. Now, I didn't go completely opaque with this. I did a thin coating over most of the piece, but then I doubled it up in areas where I thought might kind of have a little bit deeper tones. So it's the same color. I just went over stuff twice. And here I just switched to a little bit lighter blue on the face, which on the GoPro video looks very, very saturated and bright, but I think that the video I took earlier at the beginning of this video with my phone, it looks like a better representation of how it actually looks in person. So this looks like maybe a little overly saturated. Here again, just going over, and I was using lighter blues and bumping up some of the high points just to kind of break up the shapes. And then I went back in with some yellows and did the same thing. I started to hit up the different areas and kind of start to define some shapes a little bit. Now these are all going to get painted over again. I did a few different colors, yellows, some pinks, and then some purples, and then went back to the blues again. And doing these different colors just helps add some depth to the actual piece, so it doesn't look like if I just use blue, if I went with a blue and then a light blue and then maybe a very dark blue or black for the crevices, it kind of doesn't read as well. And personally, I don't like to use black paint to emphasize the creases. I would rather use a deeper color or a more saturated, darker version of the same color that I would be using for the rest of the mask. Maybe accentuate it with a slightly different color just to break it up. But I am not a fan of using black to do the creases. If it's a patterning on the actual skin, that's a little different. But I don't use it to emphasize shadows if I can help it. Here I believe I'm painting the eyes. And I did start to use a little bit of black to make a pattern on the back there, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, so I ditched it. I'll probably come back and add one later. Here I'm adding some gloss to the eyes, but There it is. So anyway, that was the whole process broken down. It took me just about 2 hours to paint the whole thing. The only thing I didn't show was at the very end, I sprayed some of this, oh gosh, hold still, this Liquitex gloss varnish through the airbrush, and it never quite goes on as well through the airbrush. So after the video, I brushed some on the eyes with a brush, nice and thick, so I could get like a nice shiny gloss to the eyes. I add a little bit to the lips and the inside of the nose, which I don't know if it shows up here, but it adds a little bit of reflectivity around the nostrils and the on the eyelids and so forth, which I think helps sell it a little more. But anyway, figured I'd show you guys what I have been up to. Got a new mask under that bag, a new sculpture that I'm working on. The one that I saved in the previous video, the clay got soft and it worked again, but it just was coming off of the life cast, so I just decided to start over. So I got a new one under there, which I will show sooner rather than later. But anyway, here he is. Thanks for stopping by. See you guys soon.